Well, long time no talk. Hey guys, it's CrafTea. Feels so weird to be saying that, like legitimately so weird. It has been months since I've filmed a video. It's been nearly a month since I've posted a video, which was not the intention, but it just kind of happened. I don't even know how to film this. So, if you guys didn't know, I have been at camp. It is the most wonderful camp I've ever been to. The camp is called Circle Square Ranch. I don't even know where to start. Should I just jump in? In 2019, I needed a summer camp to go to do my LIT program, which is Leaders in Training. And the camp that I had typically gone to had problems with their LIT program, so I had to find a new camp, and Circle Square was the camp that seemed to be the best fit for me. So I went there for my LIT program in 2019, and I fell in love. I fell head over heels in love with Circle Square Ranch. I would have loved to work there, but there were some complications. I just couldn't figure things out with scheduling, so I didn't end up working in 2019. I just had done my program, and that was it. In 2020, I was ecstatic. I was so excited to volunteer there. I had put in my application in like February, I think, way earlier than I probably should have, but I was just so excited. And as you guys all know, COVID completely crushed the summer camp game, so I was not able to work at Circle Square Ranch in 2020. In 2021, again, ecstatic. Put in my application in March. I was so excited because I knew that camp was going to be running this year. They accepted me, and I had known that I was going to go for such a long time, and I was so excited. It was obviously nerve-wracking and stressful getting everything ready, but I was just so excited. I guess this is where my story actually begins. I took a whole bunch of random sporadic clips / pictures throughout the entire duration of me being at camp. So if any of these clips don't make sense, or if they're very confusing, it's because I had no plan in doing any of this kind of stuff. I just took them for memories. So I was at camp this year for over 6 weeks, which is crazy. I came home once. I thought it was going to be so difficult to be away from home for so long and to not have my family, but as the weeks went on, I just missed home less and less. So Circle Square Ranch is a Christian camp, which is very near and dear to my heart. If you didn't know, I am a Christian, so I was very excited to be working at a Christian camp. I feel like I'm just rambling. Let's just get into the clips and explaining how my summer went. I made a list, but it's kind of sporadic, so, you know, hopefully this will make sense. So starting on July 7th, that is when my departure date was. I had to get the essentials before going to camp, obviously. My bubble tea. I made sure my nails were done. I left my family, my friends, my cats, and I headed off to camp. When I got to camp, it was a weird getting to know the camp again, because I had only gone to the camp once before this year. There are some weird things with camp with COVID. Basically, the thing that you need to know is that there were different weeks of camp. To start, I came on Wednesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were all specialty staff training. Specialty staff being barn staff, lifeguard, or ropes staff. We came early to do our specialized training. I am a lifeguard, obviously, so I did lifeguard training for those 3 days. So with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I learned how to run the waterfront, basically. I refreshed what I did in 2019 as a junior lifeguard, and now I'm an actual lifeguard, so it was like kind of weird. Looking at all the photos that I took, I have 0 photos from those 3 days, so you can tell that I was working hard. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of hard work. And we did so much stuff to get the beach ready for the summer. That weekend, one of the staff had asked me if I wanted to go to the city with her, and I said yes. So a couple of other staff and I drove to the city and got bubble tea and got some food, which was super fun. It was good to get to know some of the new staff there. I should have just taken it at the same time. Okay, ready, set, 1, cute. And then after those 3 days, week 1 was staff training. So it wasn't actually a camper week, it was a staff training week. July 12th, that is when everything started. That is when the staff training week started. Boy, did I not know what I was getting into.
Please don't run when I kill one of you.
Oh my god!
I feel bad for saying this, but I think one is pregnant. I kind of don't want to squish it.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Wait, that's the pregnant one?
No, that one is, but I gotta take this one first. Not that one.
Girl, you are so... Oh my gosh, can you me?
I think I got it.
There's no way I'm sleeping tonight.
That was a crazy week. It was a lot. Whereas the specialty training was just what you were doing at your posts, the staff training was everything. So you learned how to run games, you learned how to do stuff down at the barn, you learned how to do stuff at ropes and in the kitchen, and how to clean toilets and how to deal with behavior management. There were so many things that you learned. It was so cool to have that experience and to like feel so enriched in knowledge. We had some fun playing with some of the microphones after one campfire one night.
You're going solo. Stop singing. If Autumn sings in this one, you can play the music in this one and I'll turn this one on. Yeah. Is that one the guitar one? Wait, no. Is it on now? Is that one on?
Hello? Yes. I need you. I run to the Father, fall into grace. Some condition. But I don't have you guys are messing me up.
We gotta do like a little dance. The mosquito jig.
I would also, just so you know, Tegan's definitely recording right now.
I need someone to turn to. Hey, I guess my heart never learns.
You ready to go? Oh wait, okay, you turn off that, and then I will turn off the switch thingy.
Speaking of campfire is a beautiful thing that I'll get into more later, but we had campfire every night. On July 16th, there was a specialty staff trail ride, and I signed up for it. It was my first trail ride that I had ever gone on, and it was very fun. It was the first time that I had been horseback riding in years, so it was also a crazy experience. On July 17th, we also got our schedules, our first look at how the summer was gonna go. And then on July 16th, we graduated our staff training and we got our staff shirts. That was the first staff shirt that I had ever gotten, and it was incredible. We got anointed with oil, which was the first time that I had ever done that. It was really crazy.
In the Father, and Son, and Holy Spirit, I anoint you on your job at the waterfront.
This is chaos.
On July 17th, my family came to visit because I was feeling a little bit homesick, so it was nice to see them. They went down to the barn and pet some chickens and bunnies, and then on my way up to say goodbye to them, I realized that I had a tick on my leg. It was so quick after actually attaching that it wasn't even in my skin, it was just on top, so I just flicked it off and it was fine. That weekend, I went up with some of the rope staff to help them set up some things, and we were gonna go rope climbing. We were gonna go rock climbing, but it ended up not working out because we forgot helmets. I also did some axe throwing, which was super fun. After the staff week was over and the weekend was over, camp started. The first week of actual summer camp, and boy was it ever crazy. I had a whole bunch of spunky little girls in my cabin with 2 great cabin leaders and 2 other great SITs. The whole week went splendid as the first week of camp could go, but there weren't too many problems until the last day. On the last day, I started feeling very nauseous and just plain sick. I did not feel well at all. And with COVID, we had to take things very seriously. And so I ended up having to be driven to the hospital to get a COVID test. So I got taken in a camp van to get my COVID test. That was July 23rd. I just got out of the doctor. I got my COVID test done. And I got cleared for strep throat, and the doctor said that it was probably just a cold or something, but my throat hurts so badly. I'm waiting for Sarah to come back to get some McDonald's. After I got back from getting COVID tested, I was put into an isolation room because I had to wait until my test had come back negative to get out of isolation. I got so extremely bored. I just remember feeling really sad because I actually was not able to say goodbye to any of the kids that I had counseled that week. Going back a little bit, I don't have any photos for this, but I realized that I forgot to say that on the first week of actual camp, I actually did my testimony for the first time.
And then my Bible, which I was using to write my testimony.
I did it in front of everyone in the entire camp, and boy, was it ever crazy. It was stressful, but it was such a rewarding experience. It really helped me get over some of my public speaking trauma. On the weekend, my COVID test came back negative, and I was good to get out of isolation. Or so I thought. No, I stayed in isolation for the whole weekend. I moved from the actual isolation room to a nicer room.
Okay, so I'm coming on to my stories again to update you guys because I am COVID negative, but I still have to finish up my 24 hours of isolation. So I've been moved from the isolation room to a different, nicer isolation room. Okay, so starting from the door, this is a little pan around the room. This is all my stuff that I had to lug upstairs from my cabin. And then I have this little, actually gigantic side table with the fan because it gets really hot at night. And then my lovely bed. And oh my gosh, this is something that I will miss when I have to go back into the real world of cabins because this bed is so darn nice. And then there's just this lovely view out the window, which is actually really beautiful. And then I have all my books that I've been using to write my schedule. So that is the tour. I should be out of isolation definitely by the morning, tomorrow morning.
That weekend was rough, but at least it was only a weekend. I came back the next week stronger than ever because I was teaching the junior LIT program. How does a 17-year-old gal like myself come to be doing that? Well, you're asking the wrong person. I do not know how I got into teaching that. It was crazy, but crazy rewarding. Wow, these girls were amazing. They were the oldest girls that I had ever been teaching because I was used to teaching little kids. These girls were almost as old as me, and I was supposed to be mature in teaching them. The junior LIT program ran for 2 weeks, so I was with the same girls for 2 weeks in a row. I have a couple photos from the banquet of that week, which was actually the first banquet that I had ever gone to because the first banquet I was in isolation. After the banquet, we went down to the barn and took some pictures with the horsies. We also saw some of the buns, or the bunnies. I never called them bunnies, they're called buns. I also got a picture with the 2 other people that were running the program with me. Now, between the 2 weeks of running the junior LIT program, I took my weekend off. I went back to my family and got to sleep in my own bed for a couple nights. And while I was there, I got my second COVID vaccine.
Two of us are second, one will be first.
Thank you.
Although it was exciting and fun, it also wiped me out for the entire weekend. Before I went back to camp, I did my essential things that need to happen. I went and got bubble tea and I did my nails. When I got back to camp after teaching the junior LITs, we had another COVID scare. This time it wasn't with me, it was with my campers. A couple of our campers were experiencing some symptoms, so out of an abundance of caution, we had to go into extra distancing, which means I had to move out of my cabin and into another cabin with the people who were feeling sick. That was not fun, but at least we were actually able to continue running the program. I realized that I haven't explained what I was actually doing while I was teaching the junior LITs. I was the waterfront director during the junior LIT program, which is so crazy. I still cannot believe I did that. That was a huge undertaking, and I actually succeeded. That basically means that I was teaching the waterfront girls the Bronze Med and Bronze Cross course, which was the first time that I'd ever ran that program fully through. That didn't come without its fair share of stressful moments. I had finally taught them everything that I thought they had needed, and they had to do their exam, and during their exam, I had to just sit and wait for them to be done.
So, I just finished teaching my Bronze Med course and my Bronze Cross course, and my kids are getting examined right now. I don't think the examiner knows, but this is actually my first exam that I've ever done as the teacher. So, I'm so nervous. I literally feel like I'm gonna vomit. I don't think they realize how nervous I am. I'm way more nervous than they are. Well, I don't know if I am more nervous, but I am very nervous. Oh, I feel like I failed them. I feel like I didn't teach them everything that they need to know. And I didn't realize, all this stuff was on the exam. There's so much stuff that I didn't realize was on the exam. I don't know.
Thankfully, every single girl, all 6 of them that were in my class, successfully passed both levels of Bronze Cross and Bronze Medallion. During those 2 weeks, I had to write their birthday cards, and I also saw a whole bunch of chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
Wait, those aren't chickens. Each week we had to write birthday cards for the girls, so it was a lot of handwriting. After the 2 weeks I had to say goodbye to the girls. I got much more attached to them because I had been with them for 2 weeks, and I gave them some gifts. I gave them a little goodie bag full of candy. One of the girls gave me a gift, a whole bottle of maple syrup, only in Canada. Now for week 5. Before the week even started, there was a staff party, which was so fun. Before the party, we pet some bunnies down at the barn.
I know I'm being kind of aggressive. He does look like he's dead. You got the runt! Look, he barely has fur.
And then during the party, we played some games to win some prizes, and I ended up with 2 Starbucks gift cards at the end, which I'd say is pretty good. I didn't even mention the numerous COVID tests that we had to go through every week to make sure camp ran without a hitch. And did it ever? No one actually had COVID the entire summer. Now for week 5, I was with 2 other amazing staff that I had never been with, and I got to know them a lot better than I had known them, which was really great. I don't have many photos from that week. It was a challenging week, let's just say that. I lifeguarded every day basically, which was weird, because I got no photos basically of me lifeguarding, but that is literally what I was doing the entire summer. Just know, I was doing that every day. Now, I would forget that week 6 even happened, except for the fact that it was a very challenging week, but I didn't take any photos or videos that entire week, so I have nothing to show for it. Boy, is it a week that I would like to forget. It will be a long time till I forget it though. There were lots of challenges with the campers in our cabin. We started the week with 7 campers and ended the week with only 4 campers in the cabin. But I couldn't forget it that much because it was the last week. It was very emotional, and the entire week I was trying not to think about the fact that it was the last week, though all good things must come to an end, isn't that what they say? And after week 6, it was over. Camp was officially over. We as staff joined and had a staff meeting.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
You add some steps.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can choose party or hit the hay. I mean, hey. Who's got some snaps from this week? Oh. Snaps to Anne, Alex, and Emma for helping us with our cabin. It was a little bit hectic at times, so thank you.
Snaps to Faith for running an awesome waterfront and doing it with so much excellence and also with so much grace and such a beautiful attitude. Standing in the sun for like 6 periods a day is not for the faint of heart, as the other lifeguards can attest to as well. I feel like there was an especially good atmosphere at the waterfront this summer, so good on you. And snaps to all the lifeguards for also standing in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too, Tegan. You've been awesome.
You have a wife. It's just an enormous job, and she's done forever.
No! Snaps to Andrew and Ann for saying yes to Jesus' calling.
I took some silly pictures with some of the staff. We did a staff-only campfire at 8:45. We sang lots of songs, we listened to Anne and Andrew speak, and we cried. Mostly just me. I was crying a lot.
Here, I knew he would come. Not because anything we did, but just because he's a really, really good God. And the other thing I wanted to say is I'm not done. This isn't the peak of my ministry. This is not the end. There are going to be a lot of people in my wake who will know Jesus, and he's really, really good. Please find me when I'm 85 years old on life support. Grab me by the hands and say, I'm still burning.
I wrote down all this motherly advice for you. I don't want to say any of it. Just like, call me if you need advice, I'll give it to you. But like the way you have loved your campers and loved each other and loved Jesus is like, thank you for making our last summer such a lovely one.
This is not the summit of your relationship with God. You will not look back 40 years from now and say, wow, I knew him then. This is the beginning of an incredible journey. And there will be a ton of people in your wake who love him because of the life you've led. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, let's praise him.
I'm such an ugly crier.
Heart needs a surgeon, soul needs a friend, so I run to the Father again and again and again and again. I will be back in the loving arms of a beautiful Father. Amen.
It was extra emotional because this year was actually Anne, Andrew, and Elisa's last year as full-time staff here, which was really sad because they had really done a lot in my life with only knowing them for a little bit. The last night before we went home as staff, we all went into a cabin and had a really nice, fun staff cabin. And I wrote a little card for Anne and Andrew to say goodbye. And then on August 20th, we started closing down the camp for the year. I was put in charge of closing down the waterfront with the rest of the waterfront staff. It was sad.
So, we are going to be shoving kayaks into here.
Yeah, so this is the game plan. We don't have a lot of time. Tegan is going to get in the water and she's going to take down the buoy lines, like the swimming lines that kind of separate everything.
We have all the life jackets we need to put away too.
Yeah, we need to put the life jackets in too.
took a whole bunch of random selfies. Why? I don't really know. I also did a lot of cleaning in some cabins, which was not necessarily the most fun, but it had to get done, and I was happy to help. And then I had to say goodbye. I grew so much in my faith. It was an incredible, incredible experience that I will never forget. I'm not gonna say the drive home was easy. I cried the entire way home. Also, I'm not a pretty crier. Now, after leaving camp and coming home, I was way more sad than I thought I was going to be. It was very difficult. I cried so much. I would cry at even the thought of camp. Luckily, I have kind of mostly got out of that funk. I posted something on Instagram that really, it took me so long. Like, I took forever writing it, and I don't know. I like how it came out, so I'll put it on the screen for you guys to read, or you can go to my Instagram. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. I feel like I'll think of more things to say, but right now that's all I have to say. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, check out my YouTube, Instagram, and also my personal Instagram. Anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!